Now we see the mobility
Here he
for Manning.
goes! A mobile Manning! That doesn't look like his uncle's one bit. Arch Manning all the way for a Newman touchdown, 68 yards!
Arch Manning is catching the football world by storm. The nephew of two Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, Peyton and Eli Manning, is playing like a potential #1 overall draft pick when he eventually tosses his name into the NFL draft pool. I mean, this guy is throwing with ease. Stick around until the end of the video to hear about his college future and potential. Arch shocks world with pass. Arch Manning was hitting headlines all over the place when he flashed just a little bit of his arm strength during one of his private workouts at a Clemson facility. The team had him repping a Clemson shirt and were getting him through a variety of different drills. That was until he ran through a route that went absolutely insane. Barstool Sports in particular ran this play and got 2.3 million views in what felt like an instant. Manning was seen saying hike, dropping back to pass the football, pump faking, and then flipping the ball over while it was still in his hands. Then he stepped forward a little bit and launched a rocket all the way down the field and right into the hands of a wide receiver that was running a go route. Not to mention that there was in fact a cornerback defending on the play, and it looked like he was directly in front of the receiver. If the ball wasn't perfectly placed yards down the field, it very easily could have been broken up or intercepted. Instead, Manning did all of the things that you would want before he started his throwing motion and then launched a shot all the way across the field with seemingly no issue at all. That's a very scary sign for any team in college football right now that doesn't happen to be on his list of schools that he wants to attend to. For anybody that might be interested in knowing, the receiver who caught this missile of a pass is named Miato Ugalai. This is actually the brother of DJ, another quarterback that was supposed to be the successor of Trevor Lawrence, before going through a pretty unfortunate string of play before taking his services elsewhere nowadays. Arch's commitment and other options. When it comes to the possible options that Arch might have moving forward into his college lifespan, he has countless offers. Arch Manning recently announced to the world that he was committing himself to the University of Texas. However, we have seen highly talented prospects change their minds before they actually show up at the school. This isn't to say that Arch is going to ditch Texas, but it's still worth noting some of the schools that have shown interest and have become finalists for his services. Worst case scenario, there's only 2 other teams that might be able to steal him away at this stage, though it's not likely in the slightest. Among the big-name schools that have already shown a solid amount of interest is LSU, Texas, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, and Clemson. Arch has been taking his time to come to a decision on where exactly he wants to go. I believe that he was planning to focus on finishing his senior year of high school before really diving deeper into what he wanted to do in the future. With some time to at least think about it now, some reports state that Arch has narrowed it down to Alabama, Georgia, and Texas. Some believe that Alabama shouldn't be considered a frontrunner due to their commitment to Eli Holstein a few months ago. Then again, though, Alabama is Alabama. That's pretty much the only thing you can say about them. When it comes to Georgia, social media was lit ablaze when he was caught in some images with a Georgia uniform already. Yes, he was in some Clemson gear not long ago, but Georgia was the most recent and had many people losing their minds about a potential commitment there. Then finally comes Texas. This one might be the one school that makes you think they are a wild card. After all, not everybody thinks they are on the same level as both Alabama and Georgia, but that doesn't matter. The current Texas head coach and play caller for the offense is Steve Sarkisian. Sarkisian has a great relationship with Arch Manning, and is likely the reason why a potential team-up seems to be all but set in stone. Again, though, there's a similar problem to the situation with Alabama. Texas now has Quinn Ewers as a quarterback on the roster after he decided to transfer out of Ohio State to get a fresh start elsewhere. Arch had an excellent high school career.
Perfect throw from Arch Manning. First throw of the night, and it's right on the money.
Arch Manning has had himself quite the high school career. Now that he's officially finished with his years at Isidore Newman High School, it's about that time to recap everything he was able to accomplish, and how great he already looks coming into his college years. When he first entered into the program, he had a monstrous freshman season. He threw for 2,438 passing yards and 34 touchdowns in a span of just 10 total games. I think it's pretty safe to say that Arch made himself an incredible entrance into the new school. When he wrapped up his junior year 2 years later, his numbers dipped down with 1,947 yards and 26 touchdowns. But these are numbers that are still phenomenal at his level. By the end of that season, Manning was able to win a Division III state championship in basketball during these seasons as well. Arch broke numerous records in Isidore during his time there. Mind you that this is the exact same school that both his father and two uncles attended. If you don't already know, this includes both Peyton and Eli Manning. There's been a lot of reports coming out during these years regarding the style of play he possesses. According to 247 Sports, Arch Manning has an unbelievably talented deep ball, elite ball placement, and a touch on the football that many don't have. They also mention that he isn't the most mobile quarterback in the world, but he certainly has the ability to break out and run if the lanes opened up for him. This helps keep opposing defenses honest. So, couple that with his ability to make any single throw right on the money, and you have yourself a top-tier prospect coming into your program. He has two great mentors. Arch has a few wonderful mentors to follow in the footsteps of. Both Eli and Peyton Manning have been more than prepared to help the young signal caller out in his dreams to become a future NFL quarterback. In fact, Peyton recently shared a story about how Arch was questioning him about the commitment process and when a good time to come to a final decision was. He was wondering because Peyton was one of those quarterbacks that refused to drag the process out for an extended period of time. Peyton knew where he wanted to go and announced his decision as quickly as possible. When this story was shared with his nephew Arch, it wasn't long after that a Texas announcement came right afterwards. Of course, things can change with Ewers still being in the mix, but for now, it's looking confirmed. It's going to be a wonderful thing having multiple Super Bowl winning quarterbacks in the same family, as you do to the experiences that they can give you insight on and how to overcome adversity. Arch has done a phenomenal job of doing just that and is improving every step of the way. Look for him to lean on his family now more than ever as he tries to show the NFL scouts what he is able to do on a massive stage. That's going to do it for this video on Arch Manning and the talent that this kid is already possessing at a young age. Leave us a comment down below if you think that Arch has what it takes already in order to become a future #1 overall pick. Or if you think that Manning might slip a little further down draft boards because scouts question whether or not he's being rated highly due to his relationship with Peyton and Eli.
Here's Manning rolling right. Arch floats it to Randall for a Newman touchdown.